Hello and welcome to IABM TV. I'm Lorenzo Zanni, Head of Insight and Analysis at the IABM. Today we're going to talk about artificial intelligence in broadcast and media with Hui Zhang from Conviva,
Yes.
who is the Chief Scientist at Conviva. Hui, why don't you start by giving us a definition from your perspective of artificial intelligence?
Yes, obviously AI is a buzzword, but has been around for a long time. The definition has keep on changing. In fact, there's a joke that AI is what we call computer science 2 years ago, but it was too hard. Used to be that with the buzzword was big data. Now the new buzzword is AI. I think it really refers to what AI today, most people broadly refer to, is using data to drive, using statistical techniques and data to drive certain prediction or optimization techniques. Now, I think that the best way to think about AI is algorithm versus data. In computer science, used to be there's a very algorithm-centric. More and more so with AI technologies, there's a set of machine learning algorithms, but also they are being used with very specific set of data to train them. And this combination of data and algorithms is what we call AI.
Yeah, thank you for that. And could you tell us also a little bit more about Conviva and your work on AI specifically?
Yes, Conviva, we call it a real-time measurement and intelligence company for streaming video. We measure across all the screens the video quality and all the related parameters. Today, we measure over 1 billion streams per day, in terms of billions of minutes data, in terms of for every second of consumer watching on every device, we collect the related information such as whether there's a buffering, whether there's that's a spinning wheel, whether it's a resolution, what's the content name. With all those information, we're trying to, in real time, when I say real time, I talk about seconds, to predict whether there's a quality problem in the past and in the future. And we're trying to come up with algorithm to predictably correct the quality problem.
And I want to talk, you mentioned data. I want to talk about data, which is the raw material for
Yes.
AI.
Yeah.
What, in your opinion, are the challenges of media companies in extracting value from data at the moment?
Yeah, there are several challenges. One, starting with collection. Collecting, we have a very diverse set of end-to-end pipelines. The data coming from the encoders, generate into the network, go to the CDNs, and all the way to the apps. And there are many different type of apps. For OTT provider, you have an app on Samsung TV, you have an app on Roku box, you have an app on iPhone, and you have an app on Android phone. So all those information, there's so much different information. So the first thing is about collection. And the second, you have to normalize the data. The information you collected, raw information on Android to the iOS, are not exactly comparable because they are using different set of events models. And so you need to come up with the standard normalized metrics.
Yeah.
That's the second aspect. The third is dealing with the size of the data. I'll give you an example that today on a Sunday night, there could be tens of millions simultaneous viewers streaming that Conviva platform is processing. So that means we're processing trillions of events per day. So this amount of information all coming together, it presents a huge system challenge. So the interesting thing is, the more data you have the maximum potential to extract value, but also the maximum difficulty because of the amount of data.
And can cloud help with that? Can the cloud help with that?
Yeah, cloud is present an interesting opportunity in the sense that you can scale up your system elastically.
Yeah.
So you can run very sophisticated algorithm in a scalable fashion. So that's, in that sense, cloud can help for scalability, also for deployability. Now we have consumers distributed around the globe, in Asia, in North America, in Europe. and they may have different requirements from the privacy perspective, and also for performance reasons, you want to distribute it processing.
Yeah.
And cloud allows us to distribute the computation very easily in a distributed fashion around the world.
Yeah, you mentioned size already and you anticipated me. What about other challenges that are mentioned sometimes when talking about AI, such as one is the need to train the data in some techniques, and another one is selection bias when you're looking at consumer data. So the problem when you are like looking at a wrong sample of consumers, what can you tell us about those?
It's a great question. In fact, that we really want to have a more representative data set.
Yeah.
So one of the great strengths of Conviva is we have access to hundreds of premium publishers. They have across different genres.
Yeah.
So there's sports, news, and entertainment, and also across tens of thousands of devices. And now, when you have the diversity of data, you can compare and contrast. So you don't, let's say, you observe some anomaly of buffering ratio increases for one customer.
Yeah.
Now, either it is a problem with the customer's end-to-end pipeline,
Yeah.
or it could be a problem of the CDN, or it could be a problem of the service provider, ISP network. Now, by having multiple data set from different customers, we can zoom in specifically to that set of problems. We can isolate what the problem is.
So yeah, I'm getting like a representative sample. And you mentioned also real-time data.
Yeah.
What's the value for media companies of using real-time data as opposed to
Yes,
other type of data?
That's a very great question. Let's starting with some very interesting example like live sports and live news. Live sports, obviously, let's say we're in the Olympics.
Yeah.
The 100-meter dash, that 10 seconds turn out to be the most popular, the highest traffic load, but turn out to be the most important 10 seconds. So anything goes wrong, potential goes wrong, you have to fix it in that 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So in that sense, you need a really real-time system.
You need to react very quickly.
Right, but also in terms of from content perspective, that we want to know there's a breaking news, there is some content in viral, and you want to promote it from the content editorial perspective, and you want to promote it in a matter of seconds and the minutes. So that's a requirement for real time.
Yeah. And if we look at the supply chain for content, so if we look at content from creation to distribution, where do you think AI at the moment is being applied the most?
Yes, I think that the one that being both Conviva and also being reported has been in the distribution side in terms of quality problems, isolation the problem in the CDN, what's the problem in the players, optimizing quality experience. However, there are also very interesting applications in the content discovery and recommendation front, right? What most popular has been discussed has been the Netflix content discovery, but that's more for streaming video, VOD, and entertainment video. But there's actually very interesting scenarios in live linear. Let's say you have 24/7, you have 60 channels. Now, how do you recommend a user to content to the users in that scenario? It's also very interesting in the sense that depending what the device you're using, for example, if you're using an iPhone device on a Saturday afternoon, that you may be traveling on the train and there may be news being recommended to you, versus you're watching on a Samsung TV in the evening, you may be having a say entertainment program like a Game of Thrones recommended to you. So it's very important that a different set of problems in that context.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah. I wanted to dig a little bit deeper, and in your opinion, which AI techniques at the moment are media companies using the most?
Yes, that's a great question. I think that the AI techniques, mostly we're talking about, most people are using very standard statistical techniques.
Yeah.
And in the media, we talk about deep learning. That's another very advanced set of techniques. The reality is, the AI algorithms has been invented for more than tens of years ago. So those are not something the new things. The new things are using the availability of the data set
Yeah.
and also the formulation of the problems. So coming back to your problem, I think that if you use a very specific real-time set of environment, you may use a very robust, simple, scalable statistical algorithms.
Yeah.
Versus you have some offline algorithms, then you can do long-time training and use some more sophisticated models like a deep learning type of models.
Thanks very much,
Yeah.
Hui, it was a very, very interesting discussion. You can watch more video on the IABM website, and also we have a media tech trends report on AI, which we published last year, which you can also check on the IABM website. Thank you very much. Thank you.